I will be adding the attendees in the next minute. So get ready. All the best.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to the finale of TEDxSFIT 2021 After the Storm. This is your host, Lynette Pereira, with my co host, Lauren Colasso. After last week's breathtaking event, we are back with day two. It has really been fun to be with you. I really hope you were all in high spirits because today we have a lot of speakers and fun performances lined up for you. Also, we will be giving certificates of participation to our audience and a special surprise in the end. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. To have the best virtual TEDx experience, please switch to the speaker view by clicking on the button on the top right corner of your window. Kindly note, we are all here for a positive and enriching experience. And to avoid any hindrances in this exchange, if anyone is detected to be sending any offensive, spam, or hateful messages, they will immediately be removed from the session.
I would like to start by thanking our college director, Brother Jose Turutil, our deputy director, Brother Vijay Kumar, our principal, Dr. Cincy George, our training and placement officer, Mr. Wilson Pinto, for all their support, and a heartfelt gratitude to our other department heads, deans, faculty members, and of course, our very own college, St. Francis Institute of Technology, for being the driving force that drives the students to succeed. This worldwide lockdown has made it difficult for us to connect in person because we want and we need to keep our loved ones safe. So a big thanks to TED for allowing us to organize this event in the virtual medium, giving us the opportunity to platform all of these amazing ideas yet again. And yes, how can we forget you, our wonderful audience? For you have helped make TEDxSFIT what it is today. We appreciate your presence and hope you have a pleasant evening. TEDxSFIT has been in the making for a few months, and today it wouldn't have been possible without the support of our partners with whom we share our mission in giving a platform to ideas worth spreading. Our presenting partner, Imperial Overseas. Imperial Overseas is your one-stop shop to study abroad. They have achieved and created a strong student network of over 10,000 students worldwide within just a few years of sheer hard work and dedication. They strive to deliver quality and honesty. Our banking partners, Basan Catholic Cooperative Bank. The bank's main mission is to delight the customer by providing simplified and modernized banking solutions. Through this mission, the bank has succeeded in uplifting the society and has brought a massive change in the people's lifestyle, education, and financial stability.
Our associate partners, Made by Bharat. Made by Bharat is a dedicated Indian e-commerce company with a primary focus on providing a platform that can categorically offer only made in India products. They aim to tap into the Indian e-commerce market by providing a credible, distinct, and useful alternative. At the same time, their goal is to become a one-stop solution to purchase any products which are truly Indian. Our design partners, Jerry DeCuna and Associates. Jerry DeCuna and Associates is one of the finest architectural and interior designing firms in Mumbai, with an experience of more than 20 years, with an interdisciplinary team of architects, civil engineers, and interior designers. Their company's specialization lies in projects at the interface between building construction and interior planning.
Our clean beauty partners, Soulflower. The company creates premium, proven, effective personal care made from organic ingredients. Soulflower has an objective to deliver happiness to their consumers, which has originated from sense, sensibility, and sensitivity. And our final sponsor, our gaming partners, No Escape. Escape rooms are a worldwide craze and have recently gained popularity in India. No Escape is designed to be one of the most fun and challenging ways you will ever find to spend time with your family, friends, or partner. You will rediscover yourself in a short span of time. As we all know, life is long. We all have our happy moments and our sad ones. Sometimes we lose our loved one. Sometimes we just lose out on that contract. And sometimes a day just goes too bad. I mean, what I'm trying to say is life is full of storms. It is difficult for us to persevere. But as is human nature, we all do it. Today, on the culmination of TEDxSFIT 2021, we bring to you three more amazing, eminent speakers who have braved their storms and come out better on the other side. So come on, join us in celebrating the consistent human will to survive against all odds, against all adversities at TEDxSFIT 2021 After the Storm.
Here's a quick run through the flow of the event. We have three incredible speakers this evening who will be giving us an insight of their lives. Considering the great reviews we received for the band performance on day one, yes, we have heard you. And hence, we bring to you not one, but two special band performances today. And of course, a Q&A session in the end to quench your curiosity. So if at any point you have a question, feel free to drop them in the chat box to our moderator, Rebecca D'Souza. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Lynette.
Our speakers will be sure to answer them for you in the Q&A session at the end, so stay tuned. Let us now move on to the most awaited part of the evening. Our first speaker for the evening is Mr. Vallabh Viswanathan, an experienced architect who does not only believe in innovative design solutions, but also adapts to a holistic approach to architecture and urban designing. From growing up in the rapidly developing urban landscape of Mumbai as a child, to walking the halls of the Roman gladiator at the Colosseum in Rome, the field of architecture has always mesmerized him. I now present to you the articulate architect, Mr. Vallabh Viswanathan.
You're an architect. You must be really good at drawing, right? All you do is draw. How tough can it be? Why would I need to hire an architect for this project? Believe me, I hear these questions more often than not. Hi, I'm Vallabh Viswanathan, an architectural designer by profession. I used to practice in India from 2014 to 2018, and now I practice in the United States from 2020. Now, going back to the questions stated before, let's try to find some answers to them. Firstly, it's not only about the drawing, it is about each line that bears a significant weight of our ideas, methods, and design principles. Actually, we do not start the design by drawing a line, but we get there in due process. Today, I'm here to share where, how, and why do we draw these lines, and to share a couple of approaches an architect might take into consideration to bring about a change through their design. Let us compare two examples. This is the Kailasa temple in Maharashtra. Historians believe it was commissioned by the Rashtrakuta king Krishna. And this is the Sanctuary of Truth in Pattaya, Thailand. It has been commissioned by a Thai businessman, Lake Vidyafan. So, can anyone say one name that you would associate as the architect of these magnificent structures? One has been completed over 2200 years ago, while the other is scheduled to complete in 2050. It is my personal belief that crediting one individual with the magnificence of these structures would be unfair. Traditionally, in Indian culture, architecture has not been a profession where one individual is the visionary, the designer, and the builder. It has always been about multiple disciplines coming together, bringing their expertise to the table to bring about a change in the society and bring about a creation of a wonder. Let me also be clear, it has not always been about creating a wonder. Our traditional design methods and principles would be adhered with equal regards for a design of a small house as they would for a large temple complex. Vastu literally means or translates to a house, a place where you live in. Architecture is the art of shaping Vastu and hence its name Vastu Shilpakala. So, how is an architect's role perceived in society today? Let me share my experience in this matter. I remember as a kid, I was fascinated by how things worked, be it the radio, my toy car, my mom's cooking, or just how the life in the city of Mumbai was so well coordinated. Aeroplanes fascinated me. The thrill of going faster than the life or the pace of life in city of Mumbai was a dream. Honestly, I never dreamt of being an architect, but circumstances did not work in my favor. Later, I reflected on the words of architect P.V. Doshi, one of the most respected architects of India, as he said, "Give life a chance." And so unknowingly, I gave architecture a chance, and now it's become my life. So while this is a relatively new field to me and an experience, I soon realized that my vacations are spoiled for life. Where people see beauty and relaxation during vacations, I see space planning perspectives and details. I got a little sidetracked there. Let's get back to the topic. All our historically significant structures like temple complexes, public buildings, and even houses have all been based on a scientific understanding of the location, natural elements, skilled labor, available materials, and the tools to shape them. And people who brought all this together have hardly been one individual. It has always been a collective effort. This is a storm that we face today. An architect is expected to play this role, or I should say, should be playing this role. How can one individual or a person be a master of all aspects of a building? Is it about making each building unique? Or is it about respecting and being honest with the context and the landscape? How can we justify each line we draw on paper? On the contrary, it is an unfortunate truth that people believe all we do as architect is draw a line, while the contractor overlooks everything, the engineer puts numbers to our design, the masons build everything, while the craftsmen shape everything. All we do is draw, and so on, the cycle continues. If all we did was draw, this would be us at work. I've had inquiries where someone approaches me and says, "We have a plot of land in an X location. Can you share a layout over the weekend?" As much as I would like to impart some knowledge in what it means to share a layout and the questions that require answers even before we draw a line, unfortunately, there is no room or time to even get the conversation going. It is frustrating, and yet we do our best under the circumstances. Believe me, this is not enough. Anything of essence takes time, but time is also of essence. As architect B.V. Doshi has said, excellence needs patience. And patience not only on our part as architects. Remember, design is a collective effort. Everyone involved in the project has a lot to contribute. So, what are these factors we consider, and what are the questions we architects require answers to before we draw a line? We architects draw a line after having made sincere considerations and feel we are ready to express our interpretation of ideas or the collection of it. Ideas that have been coined thanks to multiple permutations and combinations of tangible and intangible factors. Tangible factors are those which we can quantify. Intangible factors are those which we can feel or experience. Here are some examples of tangible factors: location, site features, landscape, weather, etc. And here are some examples of intangible factors: people, comfort, warmth of the place, feelings, to name a few. All these considerations and many more have hidden answers to an architect's storm. We are always interacting with our surroundings. Our mind and senses constantly gather information. Most of this information is deemed unnecessary and we tend to discard it. I believe to truly design a masterpiece, we should retain as much information as we can as architects. We should absorb it, ponder over it, consider possibilities, and then enact our ideas in the form of a drawing. Each one of us architects would have a different approach to design. Let us dive into one example. There was a competition to design a forest abode. The design brief asked for an experience to living amidst forest. So, one architect approached the design where he proposed a glass box. His idea or ideology here was that one should be connected virtually with the surroundings at all times. So he designed the floors, the walls, and the ceilings with glass, as his intention was to maximize the view. As it was a glass box, he had to add air conditioning for the hot summer days, moisture control for rainy days, and as it was glass, he had to reinforce it with some steel. On the other hand, another architect went through a similar process and got to a point where he asked himself, what does it really mean to truly experience something? He came up with a proposal of a wooden shed made out of materials sourced locally or in the surrounding of his site. His ideology was that to truly immerse ourselves into an experience, we must experience it with all our senses and eventually return what we have borrowed to nature. Both are exceptional design ideologies, one making use of technology while the other making use of our senses. So, my question to you today is, who was the better architect here? Like any other profession, even architecture, if practiced diligently and truthfully, a simple line drawn can become someone's wonder. Everyone deserves tranquility at the end of the day, so anyone can approach an architect and together work towards achieving it. We do not serve only the rich and wealthy. Our desire is to bring about a positive change in the lives of everyone who interacts with our designs. We build a house while you make it a home. I consider architecture a noble profession where we help the occupants flourish and, in return, impact the lives of those who interact with them. And yes, we do more than just draw a line. We are adapting our skill sets to do our best during these uncertainties caused by the pandemic. As Norman Foster has rightly said, as an architect, you design for the present with an awareness of the past and for a future which is essentially unknown. It is time to draw a line away from mediocrity. I know that our built environment has a direct impact on how we deal with our present as we strive hard to secure a future for the upcoming generations. Give the place that you live in an opportunity to reflect your dreams and spirit. No matter how small the project, there is a design meant just for you. Thank you. Please stay safe. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. That indeed was an amazing talk. You have given us an insight into the world of architecture as well as designing. You know what fascinates me the most is your perspective on aesthetics. And just like architecture, although the layouts of two houses may be the same, the interiors differ. Similarly, our individual uniqueness and differences are all beautiful and should all be celebrated. So, guys, I have a poll for you. What is the first thought that would come across your mind when you are at the gateway of India? So, Lauren, what are your thoughts?
Lynette, I would be focused on the person I'm there with. What about you?
Wait, isn't this Gateway of India in Delhi?
Oh my God. Dude, India Gate is in Delhi and Gateway of India is in Mumbai.
Oops. Okay, I think I'll focus on my geography. But for now, let's move on and see what our audience has to say about it. Well, you see, our audience focuses on the beauty of the Gateway of India.
I won't disagree with the fact that the gateway isn't beautiful. Of course, it's a splendid beauty. Life है मेरे दोस्त, break तो बनता है. Have a break, have a Kit Kat. Just kidding. Have a break and get ready, cause next up we have Vivid, a band formed by 4 friends who are all ready to take you on a roller coaster of emotions in just a single performance. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, let's give it up for Vivid.
हो सामने तू है ना, विस्फोट सा दिल में हुआ रे प्यार के ओशन में, एक बोट सा तैर गया रे, चाहे भी तो भूल न पाए, मन मस्त मगन बस तेरा नाम दोहराए, मन मस्त मगन बस तेरा नाम दोहराए। आज दिन शायराना 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 लगता है, आज दिन शायराना 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 लगता है, उड़ता फिरे दिल करना चाहना, आज दिन शायराना 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 लगता है, काटू कैसे राता ओ सावरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे, के रात लम्या रे, कटे तेरे संगया रे, के रात लम्या रे, कटे तेरे संगया रे। शामें मलंग सी, रातें सुरंग सी, माही उड़ान पे ही न जाने क्यों, इलाही मेरा जी आए, इलाही मेरा जी आए। न मैं समझा ना मैं जाना जो भी तुमने मुझसे कहा है सेनोरिटा, मगर फिर भी न जाने क्यों मुझे सुनकर अच्छा लगा है सेनोरिटा। No desvíes la mirada, quédate cerca de mí, मुझको बाहों में तुम घेरो, समझी ना सेनोरिटा, चाहत के 2 पल भी मिल पाए, दुनिया में ये भी कम है क्या, 2 पल को खोओ खो जाए, भूले हम हो जा गम है क्या सेनोरिटा, सुनो सुनो सेनोरिटा कहते हैं हम क्या। सारी रात आए मरता, पल पल यादों में मरता, माने मेरी ना मन मेरा, थोड़े थोड़े होश मदहोशी सी है, नींद बेहोशी सी है, जाने कुछ भी ना मन मेरा, कभी मेरा था पर अब बेगाना है, दीवाना दीवाना समझे ना हो, कभी चुप चुप रहे, कभी गाया करे, बिन पूछे तेरी तारीफें सुनाया करे, है कोई हकीकत तू या कोई फसाना है, कुछ जाने अगर तो इतना किए तेरा दीवाना है रे मन मेरा, माने ना मन मेरा, मन मेरा मेरा दीवाना हुआ, दीवाना दीवाना समझे ना, मन मेरा मेरा दीवाना हुआ, दीवाना
Wow, that of course was an amazing performance, guys. Give it up for Vivid. I really hope this performance has refreshed all of us and gotten us excited for the talks ahead.
I agree to you, Lynette. Let's now move on to our next speaker, Ms. Deepthi Anne. Ms. Deepthi Anne is a technology strategist and the quantum field ambassador at Microsoft, a technical professional passionate about the technology that is changing the world. She is an expert in the design of high-performance solutions for the BFSI field, well-versed with cloud-native, data, AI, and blockchain solutions. Deepthi specializes in quantum computing. She is an avid reader, a daring blogger, and a passionate technologist who thinks out of the box to solve all the complex problems. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the contingency planner, Ms. Deepthi Anne.
Hey everyone, this is Deepthi here. I am a technology strategist from Microsoft. Quantum computing and nature are two spheres which have always intrigued me. I am going to elaborate more on this today. To begin with, quantum computing, two very interesting words, and yet so complex when put together. Consequently, the question arising in your mind would be, what is quantum computing? With the sudden advent of digital media, I am sure most of you would agree with me that computers have become an inevitable part of our lives, especially in these unprecedented times. But with quantum computing in use, most of you would find yourself in the crossroads of trying to understand the real difference between classical and quantum computing. In classical computing, the basic unit of information is a bit. A bit is either 0 or 1. To put it in simpler words, a bit is like a switch. When you switch it on, it's 1. When you switch it off, it's 0. But now, how is quantum computing different? What is so special about it? Before we proceed further, let me explain the word quantum. Quantum deals with smallest of the particles in nature, like electrons and photons, which depict a puzzling behavior which had been unknown to human beings for ages. This puzzling behavior is defined by quantum mechanics. Each bit in quantum computing is called a qubit, which, unlike a bit, is both 0 and 1. Wondering how is this possible? Let me give you an example. When you flip a coin in the air and the coin lands, you know whether it's a head or a tail. But when the coin is in the air, it has a probability of being both head and tail. This state in quantum computing is called superposition. Similarly, when a bit is kept in a state of superposition, it is called a qubit, which has a probability of being both 0 and 1. To elucidate further, have a look at these slides. While performing a simple search for a combination of bits which represent either a word or a number, in classical computing, you will have to flip the bits to 0 or 1 or on them or off them until you find the right combination of the bits. While in quantum computing, as all 4 qubits are both 0 and 1, you have all combinations existent at once. Imagine how faster the search would be when you have all combinations exist at once. So this is an example of 4 bits and 4 qubits. Imagine if we have to search for an item in a trillion items, considering each item would take a microsecond to check. In classical computing, it would take about a week. Same thing in quantum computing would just take a second. Just a second. Remarkable processing efficiency. Unbelievable, isn't it? Now the question is quantum computing discovered or invented? Does it already exist? Is it not noticeable to the human eye? Let's understand some processes to understand this further. Consider the natural process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a simple process in which leaves of the plants absorb the solar energy and convert the water molecule into oxygen and sugar particles which are used by the plants. When a photon or solar energy comes in contact with the chlorophyll molecule inside the chloroplast of the leaves, it travels to the reaction center where the photosynthesis occurs to be able to use the energy. Now the interesting question here is, how does the chlorophyll molecule travel from chloroplast to the reaction center? For many years, our researchers had assumed that the energy is transferred using random walk. Chlorophyll molecule takes whatever path it wants, just like a drunk man going home from the bar. Our researchers have assumed that chlorophyll molecule takes whatever path it wants to reach the reaction center. But if it takes the longest path, it should lose the energy on the way before it reaches the reaction center. But none of the energy is lost. Why? It was soon realized that chlorophyll molecule uses quantum mechanics. It takes all possible paths, just like the way qubit exists in all possible states at once, checking for the shortest path to reach the reaction center. Hence, none of the energy is lost before it reaches the reaction center. This is called quantum walk. Let us now consider the process of nitrogen fixation. In nitrogen fixation, plants absorb nitrogen from the air and convert into ammonia, which they use for their own growth. Human beings tried emulating the process of nitrogen fixation, but to no avail, as nitrogenous molecule could not be modeled even by supercomputers. Hence, the Haber-Bosch method of ammonia production was introduced. If you observe in the slide, the industrial plant of Haber-Bosch method requires huge amount of space and huge amounts of pressure and energy. In fact, ammonia production worldwide consumes approximately about 3% of the energy. While we are using tons of resources, plants are efficiently achieving the same process in a small scale at room temperature. What if we use quantum computing to emulate nitrogen fixation process instead? In short, what I am trying to imply here is, if we understand quantum computing, we can decrease the amount of resources that are being used and achieve the same results in a shorter period of time with less energy consumption. So with this, are plants the only one who are using quantum computing? No, not at all. Have you seen the migrating birds, fish and animals? They use a phenomena called magnetoreception. In this phenomenon, birds or fish or animals use Earth's magnetic field to find the direction. These birds or animals exploit a phenomena called quantum entanglement to be able to use magnetoreception. Similarly, all the enzymatic reactions and DNA mutations explore quantum mechanics. If we contemplate on all the examples explained so far, they are nothing less of a marvel, aren't they? As we understand quantum computing more and more, we are tackling all the puzzles around us. With quantum computers, we are going to take a huge leap in the advancement of computing. At the same time, conserve our valuable resources like space, time and energy. Quantum computing is our answer to a sustainable future. Of course, there are many other things that we can or should be doing to tackle climate change. But developing quantum computers is a hedge we cannot do without. So I urge all of you to start learning quantum computing and grow to get involved in the research for a better future. Thank you.
I am sure the sky is the limit. Also, a quick reminder, guys, you can drop in all your questions in the chat box to our moderators.
Okay, guys, it's time for another poll. So, Lynette, what genre of music would you like to listen to right now? I mean, what's your mood into?
I think I would like to listen to some Bollywood music. What about you?
Oh, wow, seems like we twinned this time as well. Even I love Bollywood music. Let's see what the crowd has to say about it. Oh, the audience is also pretty much in our favor, Lynette. They love Bollywood music.
Do not worry, guys, because we have songs from most of these genres coming up for you. It's time for another energetic band performance. Next up, we have Radiance, a band formed by the students of our very own college, who are ready to make us feel a wave of emotions through the various genres of music they are going to perform for us. So guys, give it up for Radiance.
ख्वाब है तू, नींद हूँ मैं, दोनों मिले रात बने, रोज यही मांगूं दुआ, तेरी मेरी बात बने, बात बने। मैं रंग शरबतों का, तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मैं रंग शरबतों का, तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जानी। रंग शरबतों का, तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मैं रंग शरबतों का, तू मीठे घाट का पानी। यह देखो जश्न बहारा है, इश्क ये देख के हैरान है। कह देखो जश्न बहारा है, इश्क ये देख के हैरान है। फूल सी खुशबू खपा खपा है गुलशन में, छुपा है कोई रंज फिजा के चिलमन में। सारे के धारे हैं और दिल में कोई कोई सी बातें हैं। ओ कहने को जश्न बहार आ है, इश्क ये देख गहरा है, फूल से खुशबू खफा खफा है गुलशन में।
Been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. She said, where you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Hey girl, I'm waiting on you, I'm waiting on you. Come on and let me sneak you out and have a celebration, a celebration. The music up, the windows down. Yeah, we'll be doing what we do, just pretending that we're cool and we know it too. Yeah, we'll be doing what we do, just pretending that we're cool. So tonight, let's go crazy, crazy, crazy till we see the sun. I know we only met, but let's pretend it's love, and never, never, never stop for anyone. Tonight, let's get some and live while we're young.
Damn, I saw you walk in the room and I tried my best not to panic while I'm looking for the back door. I smell the perfume and it's obvious I'm gonna stay and put my key in the back more. I can't pretend to forget you're the reason I punch a hole in the wall back home. And then a couple hours later we're in room 29 at the chateau. I left before you woke up. I don't feel right to see you sober and you want me to forget you. Okay, forget me too. You tell me you hate me, baby, yeah, I bet you do. I'm keeping you waiting, but I won't wait on you. You want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too.
Now wasted so much time waiting around for your phone calls every night. My bad dreams are still scream cause I taste blood when you bleed. It's eating me alive. We'd both be better off alone. Still think I'll get you on the phone with one last breath in me. I died before I let you leave. You left before I woke up.
Why don't I ever see you sober? You want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too. You tell me you hate me, baby, yeah, I bet you do. I'm keeping you waiting, but I won't wait on you. You want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. I mean, this performance was super से भी ऊपर वाला था. Guys, they deserve a huge round of applause for such a mind-blowing performance. Come on, guys. Thoko, thoko, tali bajao, bajao, because it was too much good. Thank you, Radiance, for energizing the atmosphere.
So, Lauren, how was the Josh?
It's high, Lynette.
That's great to know. Because now we bring to you our final speaker for this beautiful evening and TEDxSFIT 2021. Ms.Roshani Shah is a Mumbai-based photographer and traveler who has decided to make her passion her profession. Her work has been showcased and recognized by some of the biggest platforms such as Apple, Nat Geo India, Canon India, Google India, Sony India, and she has partnered with some of the best brands. Ms. Roshani is also an Instagram-based Sony Alpha influencer with a reach of over 160K. She firmly believes in appreciating time, and her belief acts as a driving force to risk and pursue what she loves to do. I now present to you the hawk-eyed photographer.
Let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time when something caught your attention out of a window? Maybe a bird, plants, animals, or someone dropping a sandwich. How often do we forget to carefully observe things instead of just mindlessly watching them? Hi, I'm Roshani Shah, a photographer and traveler based in Mumbai, India. Like many of us out, I was too bounded by the strings of a society to follow its norm. For me, a successful life was to complete my graduation, do a 2 years of MBA in finance, settle for a well-paid job. Like it was all decided for me. But the pursuit of success is never ending. It's an ongoing thing. For me, the success is defined when you are happy and satisfied in what you do. Maybe a 10,000 steps a day, or getting that perfect click of that moment. But there was a missing piece in me, which can only be filled if I would break out from my monotonous life. A desire to do something different. And after 7 years, I am here in front of you all. After filling the void, when photography found me. Photography has given meaning to my life. Getting back to the question I asked earlier. Observance is a quality everyone must possess. It's a combination of small efforts we take it on a daily basis that helps us to achieve it. Observance has played a very vital role in shaping me as an individual. It has changed my mindset and perspective at how I look at things. A very famous quote by a renowned photographer, Mr. Andre. The photographer's art is a continuous discovery which requires time and patience. Patience. A skill that takes an eternity to master it, but gives in with time. Just like any other beginner, I too lack patience at my initial stage. It is rightly said that the photographer wins half the battle if they patiently wait for the right time to get the click. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. These times won't even make any difference. But these are the limits I have pushed myself after years and years of practices. Surprising, right? I too was. When I discovered that the time workflow works very differently for a photographer. Starting with portraits, at the start of my journey, I ultimately discovered that my interest lies when I was walking down at the streets, where I don't have to restrict myself for a particular subject and allowing myself to go with the flow, to explore the unexplored, to notice the unnoticed. It's all about the way you look at things, your perspective. As a traveler, I have attended various festivals where a common man takes a break from their office life and get immersed in the celebration. You will end up getting thousands of photographers at the same place to get the same clicks. Just imagine the situation. Hundreds of photos, but hundreds of different perspectives. Every individual has a mindset and a vision to look at things. It doesn't matter if it's not matching the same wavelength of someone else's thought process. Some may see it as a portrait, some may see it as a story, some may see it as a very great composition. But at the end, it's rightly said that a teacher knows their students better. Here, a photographer is a teacher who knows their photo better than anyone else. Meeting people from different walks of my life has an amazing experience. There was a time when a man was rowing a boat for 2.5 hours just talking about the beauty of the lake. There was a 90-year-old man who was singing at the streets of Varanasi. A holy celebration where I saw happy faces around of the locals. Also a Thayyam festival, some different rituals in Kerala. A locals at Pushkar Camel Fair festival. All of them have left a deep but breathtaking impact on my mind. A photograph holds and gives an identity. What may exist at one location need not be there at another. For example, a yellow taxi that exists in Kolkata, West Bengal, serve as the identity. Similarly, the Shikara ride indicates that the picture was taken in Srinagar, Kashmir. I have always set myself free in photography, and that's the reason every photograph I've ever taken has a story in it. Maybe the culture, lifestyle, everything can be delivered in a single photograph. Capturing the vibe of Kumbh Mela Haridwar, or Ganga Aarti at Varanasi Ghat, or capturing the last sunset of 2019 at Taj Mahal, or covering the beautiful snow shot of Gulmarg, Kashmir in -5 degrees Celsius, or just capturing the beautiful young ladies of Kutch, Gujarat. Each one of them speaks for itself. And to narrate the wide range of emotions I had experienced in person while capturing them. Photography has allowed me to capture the emotions of the people, to observe their gestures, and help me to live the moment with them. The way you look at things compared to what others see makes you unique. The observance makes you unique. It doesn't matter what lens it's capturing. It's about the meaning you find in the subject. If it's a simply landscape or a beauty of Mother Nature, or a detailed shot of a flower, or just a macro life of a human element. It is about the mindset you set while capturing it. Leaving everything and walking out as a photographer was a very risky decision. To walk in the storm alone was not something I have wished for. The road of this journey has always had its hurdles. The passion and fascination to capture the beauty of life helped me reach here after the storm. Photography showed me a very important, truly meaning to my life. I was never sure about making decisions. But one thing I knew for sure. There are thousands of moments around you. So pick up your best one and frame it. Thank you.
Guys, it would be so lovely if all of us show some appreciation to our speakers by giving them some air claps, because they've done an amazing job. So let's give them a huge round of virtual applause. Roshani ma'am, this has been such a great talk. I mean, somehow, somewhere, it becomes necessary for all of us to leave out our comfort zones. It becomes necessary for us to break through that cocoon, what makes us more comfortable, what makes us more safe. And that is what is necessary for us to succeed. The last statement of your talk that really caught my attention. There are thousands of moments around you. So pick your best and frame it. I loved it. Thank you so much, Roshani ma'am, for sharing with us how photography can inspire and teach us more about life and how to live it.
Here's your last chance to drop in all your questions for all our speakers, guys. So what are you waiting for? Now is the moment we let the surprise out. So brace yourselves, guys, because we at TEDxSFIT are giving out digital goodie bags. Well, these goodie bags consist of some amazing discount vouchers from our sponsors. We have Soulflower, who will be providing a 25% off on any purchase, and No Escape will be providing a discount of 60% off on any purchase. Now, isn't that a super exciting goodie bag?
Oh, wow. Now I have a reason to check my mails.
Of course. Moving on. This may be the end of all our talks for TEDxSFIT 2021. But as promised, our speakers will now answer all the questions put up by all of you. So over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Lynette. Hello, everybody. I'm Rebecca D'Souza, and I'll be your moderator for the day. Well, the most awaited and exciting segment of the day is here, the Q&A section for day 2. the finale of TEDxSFIT is just about to begin. I must tell you, the response from our audience is indeed overwhelming. The chat box is replete with questions from the audience. And we have an amazing panel of speakers for the day, ranging from Mr. Vallabh Viswanathan, Ms. Deepthi Anne, and Ms.Roshani Shah. I see our speakers all pumped up and eager to answer those questions. So let's not keep them waiting any longer and dive right into those questions. A small note for our speakers, kindly keep your answers short and crisp so that more questions are directed towards you. So let's begin with Mr. Vallabh. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the opportunity, TEDxSFIT team, and amazing talk by the other speakers as well. Yeah, it's early morning for me. So being on the other side of the globe, it wasn't easy for me to do the coordination, but also a lot of thanks to and all the efforts that you guys put in to follow up with me at odd hours in the day for you. So that is something which I really appreciate. Thank you.
We really appreciate you being here despite it being so early in the morning. We're very fortunate and glad to have you here on our platform. So our first question is for you is from Mr. Sandesh. How can we make our homes nature friendly even in urban areas?
So when I made the point of being unique or being just with, I would say, our context and our surrounding. So when we say nature friendly, it does not mean that we need green in our lives. Okay, nature is not only green. Nature is living with without requiring any active systems to help our life. So as many passive systems as you can imply with whatever possibilities, like a small kitchen garden. It could be a small kitchen garden. It could be maybe not using plastics. That's one step towards being nature friendly. So if that is something you desire, the community or the building itself can take up initiative of, okay, let us just produce green chilies in our compound. It could be the first step, and that could inspire others to go. Like I'm looking at the garden right outside where we are growing our own tomatoes. I'm growing my own capsicum, and I'm growing my own chilies. So it's small steps that you can take towards having nature a part of your life, even in urban environments.
Yes, indeed. It's these small steps that we need to take for a sustainable and resilient urban areas. Our next question is for Ms. Deepthi Anne. How are you today, ma'am? How are you doing? Have you been enjoying the event?
Yes. Very good performances and good content from the speakers as well. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yes, we enjoyed your talk as well, ma'am. It was very interesting. So our question for you is from Tarushi Sahu. Can we use quantum computing to oppose cyber crimes?
Okay, quantum computing is going to actually redefine the whole encryption which we have. In fact, if a hacker is going to get hold of a quantum computer, he's going to hack everything which is already there. So actually, there is this complete encryption algorithms are being redefined by quantum computing. I think, but this quantum computing is going to make the encryption so strong that then, yeah, once that is done, then all the cyber crimes will be far more prevented than what they are today, because it's difficult to get hold of a quantum computer or difficult to put the bit in the qubit state.
Yes. The applications of quantum computing are so widespread and are indeed a marvel, as you mentioned in your talk as well. And if we can implement cybersecurity using quantum computers, then our future is in safe hands.
Yes.
Moving on with Ms. Roshani Shah. How have you been liking today's event, ma'am?
It's amazing, yeah. And thank you guys for, arranging all this. It was really a great performance by other brands and everyone.
Yes, ma'am. We enjoyed your talk as well. It was indeed an inspiration for many out there. So our first question for you is from Parth Rambia. How has the experience of being able to travel and explore different parts of the country as part of your profession been for you?
Firstly, it's super amazing to travel places and everything, around the world, especially in India. And I'm so happy that I have chose this photography field. And literally, I'm knowing their lifestyle, their cultures. I'm going places. I'm knowing about the local attires, what they wear, what they eat, and it's going too deep. Like, to knowing them in person is something different experience for me. And also, when I go too deep, I feel we all are so grateful. Like, the lives they live and we live over here. It's something we all should be grateful for what we have. And also, there is so much to learn from them and so much to give to this beautiful world. So that's it. That's what I'm learning while traveling.
Yes, it's all a learning process. And who doesn't love to travel?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Our next question is for Mr. Vallabh again, by Prakash Nayak. Is Vastu supported with scientific reasoning?
Oh, yes. Vastu, by definition, is, as I explained in my talk, is also the understanding of site, context, and all those tangible factors, as I mentioned in my talk. So, Vastu is completely scientific. It's only when we try to interpret things, more than what they are without a logical reasoning, is when it gets complicated. So I did not touch that topic. I know it is a sensitive topic. I did not touch it in my talk, but yes, Vastu is actually a very scientific study. I'll give a very short example. We say that a kitchen should be in the southeast, and that is right for the location where India is based, because the sun rises in the east. But because we are in the northern hemisphere, majority of it is in the southern part of India. So you need morning sunlight into your grains, because if there are any bugs that have been residing there overnight, they would be running out. Sunlight helps to get rid of them. So it's as simple as that, logical reasoning. We need, and one more example would be having a solid facade on the southwest or a heavier facade on the southwest. That is because we have southwest monsoon. And the impact of the monsoon to not come into our house, and spoil the aesthetics, is what Vastu is based on.
Those are some interesting facts, which I too wasn't aware about. And I'm sure many have learned that Vastu is entirely scientific and is definitely a huge part of modern architecture today. Our next question is for Ms. Deepthi. So this question is by Agnello. How can AI and quantum computing work together? As a startup founder, can it help in building business?
See, quantum computers right now are available as a cloud offering from all the vendors. So any startup can get hold of them, but it's a service you can go and subscribe. Then coming to AI, yes, they actually, in quantum computing, all AI algorithms or machine learning algorithms are being redefined, because the amount of processing time that an AI is requiring currently, or a machine learning algorithm is requiring currently, quantum computing is going to do it much faster, much shorter time. So that's where quantum computing is going to redefine AI, machine learning, and a lot of algorithms. Yes, definitely it is suitable for a startup, yes, to explore.
Yeah, that's really great. There might be many in our audience who might have such startups in the future, and quantum computing can be our key to the future. Our next question is for Ms. Roshani. How did you come up with the hashtag Spread Khushiyan?
Okay. So, like everyone knows, like I keep traveling and clicking portraits of, people around. So most of the time, what I do, like when I click portraits of them, I make sure, like most of the time, I make sure, like, I make them see their photos in my camera. So that moment is so special for photographers when they see their own photos in camera. That smile is something I can't even explain in words. So that is some satisfaction kind of happiness for photographers like us. So from there, I have, created this hashtag of spreading happiness, spread khushiyan. Khushiyan means happiness. So spreading a lot of smile and happiness through my photos and for people around this world. So that is there.
A smile can definitely walk a long mile, and happiness is the key to everything. So I totally agree. The hashtag is on point, as we would say. Next question is for Mr. Vallabh again. How do you envision the future of architecture?
Wow, that's a loaded question for a 2-minute answer. But thanks for the question. One quote also from referring back to my talk was, we architects learn from the past, design for the present, with the future which is unknown. So time is the only test that architecture stands. We appreciate buildings which are 2000 years old still standing. So I don't think those guys thought like, okay, there would be cameras or drones shooting our structures back then, like getting a different perspective of what we see today. So I would say as technology advances, so does the application of technology in architecture. And one example could be, when I was in school back in 2009 to 2014, there were topics of building colonies on Mars, and now we have public flying onto the space station, and also we are not far away from that dream. So future of architecture may be on land, maybe in the space. So it can, it has no limits, I would say.
Yes. Future of architecture has a lot of scope, and those were some great insights. And that was a great question by Linda Pereira. So moving on, our next question is for Ms. Deepthi Anne. Is quantum computing being used actively now, or it's just in laboratories right now? This question is by Anukul.
Okay. Yes, it is in laboratories a lot, but it is being used as well. But you will not see them very easily, because all the companies who are using quantum computing have actually signed IPs. So they are not disclosing. They're trying to take the first mover advantage. So it is not disclosed, while it is being explored by almost everyone.
Okay, that's really great to know that quantum computing is being used actively. We might see it in a few years, or maybe next year. Let's see, in the future, definitely.
Yeah, I think in maybe 5 years and 10 years. 10 years, it will be very active. But yeah, in 5 years, it is catching up already.
That's great to know that it's catching up. And moving ahead, our next question is by Alicia Miranda for Ms. Roshani. How do you apply the knowledge and skills you've learned from photography in your daily life?
Okay, so one of the most important thing, I've learned from photography is patience. So that is one thing which we believe in photography, to get the right click. So same I'm applying on my daily life while, driving in a traffic maybe, or waiting for a food or something like that. But very small example, but patience, following patience in a daily life is equivalent to what I have learned in photography for my photographs, what I click. So that is one of the most important things.
Yes, patience is the key to success, and
definitely.
We definitely learn a lot from our daily life. There's always something to learn here and there in the little things that we do.
True.
Our next question is for Mr. Vallabh by Nick Lopez. Born in a nation of diverse cultures and now practicing in the US, what, in your opinion, is the role of traditions in architecture? How do you like to blend it into your projects?
Okay, so our diversity is what makes our architecture unique. I say this because I have traveled on the East Coast of US and a little central. They keep the outside to the outside and the inside to the inside. So what I mean by that is, because of how their buildings have progressed, they do not let the outside and inside mix so easily. So we say, oh wow, the buildings look so pristine in photographs. There is a reason for that. They do not let the outside come in or the inside spread to the outside. And I don't mean by spaces, I just mean climate and environment. So coming to the question of traditions, we have routines and traditions where we worship nature early morning, or we say adieu to nature in the evening. So we cannot segregate inside and outside as easily or define a line as they do here. So I have tried to, I was born in Mumbai, but I worked in Bangalore, and now I moved to the US. So I have a little bit of West and South in my design language, as we all say. Every artist has his own language, his or her own language. So that is something which I try to inculcate, but it's not easy.
Indeed. We definitely understood what goes into designing, the various ideas you have to incorporate, the conditions you have to take into account as well. Moving on, our next question is for Ms. Deepthi by Ritik Patel. What is the future of quantum computing in India?
Okay, in India also there are lots of startups of quantum computing have come up, and a lot of organizations are exploring quantum computing. See, quantum computing is right now in the stage of mainframe, you can say. But unlike actual mainframe days, now we have cloud computing. So that's the reason it is accessible by everyone. So every organization is just subscribing and trying out, testing out. Yes, and India is also in a very steep curve. I know a lot of organizations who are already exploring deep enough, because moreover, quantum computing cannot be learned in like 1 month, 2 months, or maybe 1 year. You need to spend time, and your teams have to really get enabled. So everyone has started the journey, and many have completed already 2 to 3 years of journey. So yes, India is also going steep into it, and a lot of research is going on.
I'm glad to learn that India is in the race, and we definitely will have positive results soon. So yes, moving on with Ms. Roshani. The following question is by Steve Correa. Please share your experience on breaking the stereotypes and struggles as a female photographer.
Okay, so I mean, a lot of people have asked me the same question. See, there are a lot of challenges when you are doing street photography, especially when traveling or covering festivals, especially for female photographer. So what happened? Like, if you're going in a crowd, a lot of people are staring at you, and some unwanted comments are passed by, and some unwanted things. So firstly, I have, learned to ignore that, because my main focus is photography. So that was one of the things. Second is, there are times when, when I want some shot, and when I really have to go down, some low angle shot. So first thing I need to, look at myself, like I need to adjust my clothes. Like, is it proper? Then I just look at the frame, and I shot that particular frame. So there are a lot of such things where a female photographer have to look for their safety first, and how they are in those crowd, and then they are ready for the shoot, maybe. So all these difficulties and challenges, like subconsciously, but there is in the mind of every single female photographers out there. So yeah, a lot of other challenges too.
Yes, challenges are a part and parcel, and it is us who have to take a step forward and take that leap into progressing.
Yeah.
So our next question is for Mr. Vallabh. Initially, you talked about the Kailasa temple, which is one of the beautiful masterpieces in the state of Maharashtra. Do you think we'll be able to build such monuments for our future generations to look back at the history? This question is by Amisha Pramod.
Oh, thanks, Amisha, for asking that question. In comparison to the Kailasa, I uploaded the Sanctuary of Truth, which I had the fortune of visiting myself. So if you ask yourself, what is the contribution of our generation to the field of architecture? Same question, like going 2000 years later, what would be the structure we would look at and say, oh, this is the architecture of that era, So that's why I believe Sanctuary of Truth, which is yet to complete. And it's been, I think so it will take 70 years, over 70 years to complete itself. So I really feel like that is a contribution that I have visited, which would be our contribution to on the time scale of architecture. It's a small speck. If you see the modern times,
I think our speaker is having a little technical issue. I'm really glad Mr. Vallabh mentioned that there is a scope for us to view such structures for our future generations. And 70 years, we'll see, there will be more in time as well. So meanwhile, let us move on with the next question for Ms. Deepthi. If quantum computing develops in the next 5 to 10 years, will it be easy to adapt?
Okay.
This is by Hargun Singh.
Okay. So in next 5 to 10 years, if you start learning now itself, yes, in 5-10 years, all those people who have started the journey now are going to be experts and are going to explore it much more deeper and rather use it. So yes, we will be able to explore it because we are already exploring it right now. So imagine in 5-10 years, you will actually have more hands-on on that.
Yes, we'll be shifting from classical to now quantum computing, and we will definitely adapt.
You should start learning now if you want to be there then.
Yes, I hope our audience has taken this note into account. If to start it right away, quantum computing can help us in few years. Moving on with Ms. Roshani, this question is by Jessica Gonsalves. When did you get your first break as a photographer? Can you tell us something about it?
Okay, so before coming into street and travel, I was completely into product and food photography. So one of my friend, he has a jewelry business. So he was the first one to give me a break and, to trust my photography and shoot for the jewelry products. So from there, how I started my photography and product and everything. And after like few years, I shifted drastically to streets and travel. So yeah, that was the time.
That was indeed an inspirational story for many. First break is very important. It just leads the way to success, of course. Yes. So we have our speaker, Mr. Vallabh, in our midst. Hello, sir.
Yeah, even the US is not, not prone to outages. My Wi-Fi just disconnected.
Yeah. No problem, sir. We have a question at hand for you again. This one's from Arya Ankolekar. What changes would you like to see in architectural education in our country?
Whoa. Okay, so that's an amazing question. Thanks for the question. So having studied in India and in the US, I can tell you that architects in the US focus on design and design methods and the principles and all that goes along with it. While the education in India teaches us to play multiple roles, and focus a little more on that. So I believe having an experience of both or a combination of both is what would be really ideal. So education in India is improving. I think so. The emphasis on marks is still quite high. So that should be something that goes out of all the professional schools. It is not about having a grade higher than the person who is sitting next to you, but rather to have more, I would say, creative criticism so that you can actually improve your own skill sets. That is something that we should work on.
Yes, it's practical knowledge that comes in handy in the real world, at least. So I definitely agree with you, sir. Our architectural curriculum can definitely undergo change and head more towards practicality than marks, of course. So our next question is for Ms. Deepthi Anne by Janelle. What are the challenges or drawbacks of quantum computing?
Okay, so drawbacks right now, to be frank, currently the qubit to be placed in the state of superposition it's a very short time. I think it's in few seconds. So that's what the research is working on to increase that. And then again, quantum entanglement. Okay, it's about 2 qubits knowing each other, and even that, in how long can it be there? So this is, and lots of errors are needed. Okay, so all these things are being worked out right now, and more will come in as we use more and more. That's what I would say, because we are going to redefine current internet, current hardware, software, everything will be redefined and be reworked out when quantum computing will come in.
Yes, we have, in the bargain, we have to overcome all these drawbacks and stay strong towards a better future with quantum computing.
We will overcome. We will.
Yes, we will. We definitely will. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Our next question is for Ms. Roshani by Chris Raval. What do you feel about the entry-level barrier to become a reasonably good photographer in recent times? How simple has it become?
Like, what you can do is daily practice, maybe. Like, on day-to-day, consistency is very important these days for any of the photographers. And working hard towards it, and putting your talent and consistency together, I'm sure like it would be, I won't say it's very simple, but it can lead you to a right track, and then they can start over all again.
Consistency and daily practice is
daily practice is big.
essential.
There is no stop and there is no halt in photography. Like so you just need to practice and practice more to get there.
Yes, to capture that and to focus that moment, collect those moments.
Yeah, right.
Consistency is very important. Moving on with the next question from Mr. Vallabh from Siddesh Lele. Any book you would like to suggest for aspiring architects and design enthusiasts for inspiration?
So each one of us has our preferences to, what we like or what we would like to practice. So one of the first books I read was Laurie Baker's works in India. So he's an architect who practiced majorly with bricks in Kerala. And now I am a huge fan of Bjarke Ingels, BIG. So it's a different language. So if you pick up Laurie Baker's book and then read the works of architects Bjarke Ingels, so definitely you will see like how different the approach is and how amazing the field of architecture or how vast the field is.
Yes, we definitely have to refer to those books now to know more about architecture. And since it has helped you so much, I am sure it will help our participants as well. So we now have a question open to all 3 speakers. The question is, what advice do you have for someone new to your field or profession? Let's begin with Ms. Deepthi.
Okay, someone new to quantum computing, I would say brush up all your physics, mathematics backgrounds. You need to deep dive. And in fact, you'll have to change your physics foundation completely, because quantum mechanics is completely different and it's a lot intuitive than what you already know. So you need to learn that first. I think once you learn that, then going will be easier.
Yes, redefining will need some learning.
Yeah, it's going to take a year at least.
Yes, we should start now then in that case. Okay, so moving on with Ms. Roshani. Ma'am, what are your thoughts on this?
I think one has to come out of their comfort zone first and foremost, and live in the moment and see around and be patient with it. Like in photography, you need a lot of patience. So that is one of the key you have to look for. And there are actually literally a lot of things to capture. So just look around and capture the best, whatever you feel like. There is no, there's no stop, or there's no one thing which you have to look for. You can look around everything around, and you can capture according to your favorites. Also, hard work, I would say hard work never goes off. So your talent and consistency, as I said again, will take you too far. So nothing is impossible. Everyone can do it. So that is there. And all the best to those.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Hard work is very important, and winners never quit and quitters never win.
Yeah.
So we need to be very consistent in our daily endeavors. Anything you'd like to add upon to this question, Mr. Vallabh?
Oh, yes. 2 points majorly. One is for new architects, please do not forget the human factor onto your designs. The role of humans is what, completes your architecture. And the second point would be, it is okay to not have the design, okay, but make sure you justify each and every design so that, it makes a greater impact as a holistic, approach. When we all architects do that justice, it would really help build a good environment for us all.
Yes, substantial work is very important. So sadly, that was our last question for the Q&A section. And I'd really like to thank our speakers for those wonderful answers. I'm sure our audience was definitely inspired and have learned a lot and can take away a lot home today. So we are really grateful to you for answering those questions, and our audience, of course, for those engaging questions. The chat box was literally full of them, brimming with questions, and I'm sure we've all learned a lot today. And thank you once again. And over to you, Lynette.
Thank you, Rebecca, and all our speakers for this wonderful session. There is this famous quote by Ronald Reagan: "The greatest leaders are not necessarily those who do great things. They are those who get their people to do the greatest things." TEDxSFIT 2021 has been a great effort that has been months in the making. And it is an event that would not be possible without the capable leadership and steadfast vision of the organizer, Mr. Ryan Nayak, and the co-organizer, Ms. Ramani Desai. I now call upon both of them to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Lynette, for that kind introduction. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Nayak, the licensee and organizer for TEDxSFIT 2021. And I have with me Ramani Desai, the co-organizer for TEDxSFIT 2021. I would like to start by saying that this magnificent event is not the brainchild of one person, but the culmination of efforts taken by our entire team. It hasn't taken shape over a week or two, but over 6 months of meticulous planning. From late night fun meetings to brainstorming for new ideas, I am really proud of how far we've come. I still remember the night we received the approval for our license from TED and how excited everyone was. To begin with, I would like to thank TED for this wonderful opportunity and entrusting us to contribute to their mission of ideas worth spreading through our event this year. Next, extending my heartfelt gratitude to our speakers, Savio Mascarenas, Jovita Serrao, Keval Kaka, Deepthi Anne, Vallabh Viswanathan, and Roshani Shah for all their efforts. Thank you for believing in our vision and partaking in this journey by sharing your invaluable ideas. Like any event of this scale, our sponsors have been an indispensable part of making this event a reality. Many thanks to Imperial Overseas, our presenting partner, Baseen Catholic Cooperative Bank, our banking partner, Made by Bharat, our associate partner, Jerry DeCuna and Associates, our design partner, No Escape, our gaming partner, and Soulflower, our clean beauty partner. TEDxSFIT 2021 would not be possible without you, and we thank you for all your support. We also thank the director of St. Francis Institute of Technology, Brother Jose Thuruthil, and our principal, Dr. Cincy George, for your support and for granting us the permission to organize TEDxSFIT virtually. On a personal note, I would like to express my sincerest appreciation for my parents, sister, and Aditi for their unconditional support throughout this roller coaster of a journey. Much thanks to the families and friends of our team for their support and constant motivation to do better. You are all stakeholders in the success of this event. Talking about family, I would like to thank an integral part of the TEDxSFIT family, the guiding force behind all our efforts. She's none other than Dr. Prachi Raut, the convener of eCell and TEDxSFIT. She has been an inspiring mentor who has incessantly supported and motivated us to go above and beyond. We would also like to extend our warm wishes on behalf of the TEDxSFIT team to all the faculty and staff of our institution. Moving on, we'd like to thank our team, starting with our amazing hosts. A huge shout out to Rohan, Jessica, Lauren, Lynette, and Rebecca for their undying enthusiasm and unmatched energies throughout the virtual series. What is TEDx without curation? Our ever so hardworking team of curators have done a phenomenal job, right from working on the application to the theme and to finally curating these brilliant talks presented to you. Hats off to you guys for pulling this off. We'd also like to thank the past year's team for their invaluable guidance throughout. I would also like to thank Satsur, Vivid, and Radiance for their refreshing melodies. A special mention to Cliff with his technical wizardry for helping us out not only with mastering the audios of these performances, but even the talks. And Soham for coordinating the band performances. From curating inspiring talks to producing mesmerizing band performances, our event wouldn't be complete without these talented individuals. The magicians behind those enchanting animations and well-edited talks, our video production team headed by Monique, have been working relentlessly to take our event to another level. From handling the streaming of talks to coordinating the technical aspects, they have done it all. Now, presenting to you all, Ramani Desai, the co-organizer for TEDxSFIT 2021, without whom this event would have never been possible. I couldn't have personally asked for a better person to organize this event with. Thank you so much, Ramani. Over to you.
Thank you, Ryan, for being an amazing organizer and a great friend. I too couldn't have asked for a better person to organize this event with. And since you have thanked half of our team, let me go and thank the rest. Starting with, we would like to thank our amazing publicity team, along with their head, Mrunmay Masalle, for bringing in a record number of registrations and attendees throughout the 21 virtual series yet again this year. Thank you for putting up great pre-events like in-between panels, tantalizing treks, scintillating shades, and amazing live sessions with our speakers. And to the pre-event hosts, Tejas Vaidya, Akshi Kamde, and Grishma Hedwekar, along with our head of logistics, Dev Surve, for their ability to carry and manage the event with such ease and enthusiasm. It was great to work with everyone. Also, thank you to all the audience who participated and watched all our pre-events and made them a huge success. A heartfelt congratulations to all the pre-events winners as well. Making sure you curate a great visual experience is especially important for any virtual TEDx event. Thank you to our graphics team, along with our graphics head, Monique Cowley, for tirelessly working on all our digital media, animations, and videos so that we could have the best visuals for our audience. Thank you to our social media team for putting up amazing content on our feed throughout so that we could reach out to the communities and individuals throughout the world. A very big thank you to our social media head, Sahil Sawant, and social media strategist, Drashti Thakkar. Moving on, our web team has been working hard and developing the event series website, updating and managing it on time throughout this week. Our webmaster, Yugandhar Khair, along with the web team, has done an amazing job. Thank you for bearing with so many changes that we made you do, Yug. Speaking about changes, the pandemic has hit us all hard. and it has been also deeply changed the way corporate and business world works. We thank our marketing team and the marketing head Soham Shinde for working tirelessly day and night to ensure that we were connected to our partners, without whom this event wouldn't have been possible. Thank you, Soham Shinde, our marketing head, for those fun meetings with the team. We also want to thank our advisors who guided us throughout the event and helped us in spite of their busy schedules. Special mentions to Darren, Joel, Chelsea, Anushka, Abraham, Ayush, Cliff, and Ritik for being with us throughout the entire course of the event. Now, a very special and heartfelt thank you to our overall coordinator of ECEL, Chaitanya Madhu, aka Chai, for keeping together the entire team and being there with us every step of the way. To all those bonding sessions, Chai. On a personal note, I would also like to thank my mom and my sister for supporting me throughout the event. Now, a very, very big thank you to the entire team of TEDxSFIT 2021 again. Without y'all, this event wouldn't have been possible. Now, last but not the least, we are especially grateful to you, the wonderful audience that has been with us all this time. You and your passion has inspired this mission of ideas worth spreading. And as we wrap up, we are committed to being back next year with a bang, hopefully offline. Now here I stop and give back the stage to Lynette and Lauren. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Ryan and Ramni, for being the strongest pillars of this entire event and for all the hard work and efforts that you both have put in. This event literally wouldn't have been possible without you two. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank once again all our sponsors for this amazing evening. Our presenting partner, Imperial Overseas. Our banking partner, Basan Catholic Cooperative Bank. Our associate partner, Made by Bharat. Our design partners, Jerry Dicuna and Associates. Our clean beauty partners, Soulflower, and our gaming partners, NoSK. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a memory is priceless. Say cheese and get ready with your cameras on, because it's picture time. So I would request all of you all to kindly switch on your camera and say cheese, and let's make an X with your hands to symbolize the TEDx and take a group snap showing that TEDx spirit in 3, 2, 1.
Come on, guys, put your cameras on. Let's get the best picture.
Lynette, I hope I don't look too nervous.
No, you look amazing.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, we are done. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. I would now like to request every one of you all to kindly fill the feedback form. The link for the same will be provided in the chat box below. This will help us to know how can we make TEDx better for you. हर पल यहाँ जी भर के जियो, जो है लम्हा, क्या पता कल हो ना हो. Now it's the time that we all dread about. It's time to say goodbye, but only for now. We still hope to see you all next year and positively not through these computer screens. Until then, hoping that we all learned a little something and had a lot of fun. These are your hosts, Lauren Colasso and Lynette Pereira, signing off. Have a pleasant evening. Goodbye. Hope to see you all soon next year.
Goodbye, guys.